Friday.
So that's after the stock market.
Yeah.
That's
Stock
fine.
market
This is WhatsApp. They didn't charge any of this thing. So I'm having to alternate charging. I'm coming.
All right.
How was the weekend?
Weekend. It was good. I've been on leave for 2 weeks, so I just
Express.
resumed today.
Brought to
Oh,
you
okay.
by
Yeah.
InterSwitch.
Welcome back.
Transaction solutions you can depend on.
Brandon.
We're live. Good morning, and thank you for staying with us. You're listening to Smooth 98.1, and this is Smooth Breakfast with Valentine and Ayo. It is time for us to talk business, and we have Janet from ARM joining us in the studio today. Good morning.
Yeah, hi.
How are you?
Good morning.
Good morning to you. Happy new month, eh?
Yeah, same to you.
Fantastic. So, Janet, we've had conversations around before the show started around stock market picks, but that's where we will start from. But first, Lagos, here's how you can be in touch with us through the show. Send messages on WhatsApp 0809 That is the WhatsApp message for your WhatsApp message number 0809 On Twitter, we are at Smooth981FM. The hashtag is Business Express 981. Leave your messages with that hashtag there. So Janet, I heard the stock market on Friday was pretty nasty. What's the real reason? Although I have suspicions. Tell us.
Yes, and I'm sure your suspicion is, quite is most likely correct. I mean, we're talking about the coronavirus, and how that sparked some significant sell-offs. Market was down by about 2.2% on Friday. Just about two stocks actually gained on the exchange on Friday. We had likes of GTP lose as much as 10% or 9 point something percent, so quite close. And then even other big stocks as well, especially the banks as well. So there were quite some losses in some of those stocks on Friday. So we actually just saw that. I mean, you understand how the first coronavirus carrier was found for Lagos.
Yes,
Like
the
that from the
Italian.
Italian, exactly. So that actually just moved a lot of negative sentiments in markets on Friday, and we saw that huge sell-off. Really, I think one of the biggest we've seen so far this year.
Wow. Does that mean Nigerians should rush now to the NSC to start buying stocks?
Well, I
Is that
mean,
a good indicator to follow?
well, yeah, I mean, so many of the stocks are actually quite beating, and then some of the stocks where you think they are quite valuable and where you see some good value in the future, fundamentally strong stocks. Definitely, you're seeing some opportunity to bargain hunt there, but definitely you want to trade cautiously, see how market is still reacting, how prices fare out in the markets. No one really knows how low it could still go, but there's some opportunities for bargain hunting, definitely.
Oh, wow, interesting. There were projections in late 2018 and early 2019. Nigeria, touting the 65%, $65 per barrel peg as the win-win for them in terms of budgeting for 2020. So the projection was based on that benchmark. Now we see that the crude oil prices globally has fallen below $50 per barrel.
Yeah.
I mean, would that set up a panic in the minds of the administrators, or what does that mean for
Definitely.
Nigeria?
So I mean, we have our budget set at $57 a barrel for this year. That's for the 2020 budget. And like you said, actually saw oil prices go below 50 late Friday, or even towards early this morning as well. But I mean, what we've seen, at least checking the oil price just before coming on, it's currently at about $51 a barrel. And then there's hopes that OPEC could kind of fix things from that end by taking on deeper cuts. They're actually supposed to meet sometime this week. So I mean, just a background would be that the huge decline we've seen, and we're talking about oil price coming from $66 where it opened at the start of the year. You went quite high to the 70s in January, and then we saw that significant pullback, mostly because of the coronavirus and the fears that that could have the impact that would have on crude oil demand globally. So we've seen that quite some significant pullback, and definitely some cause for concern, especially when you have to quote the CBN governor's statement often is about oil prices sitting above $50 a barrel. So it's understandable where those fears come from. Actually, I mean, we have to look at the foreign reserves, how that has declined quite significantly recently. So yeah, I mean, all price decline is definitely something to be cautious and quite to pay some significant attention to. But hopefully, when OPEC meets, I believe they're supposed to meet from March 3rd to 5th. Trying to decide on whether to take on more production cuts. You recall from December last year, the OPEC Plus that had already agreed to take on about 500,000 extra to the 1.2 million barrel production cuts they had agreed on earlier. So, but there's still some doubts as to how feasible an additional cut would be. Considering the likes of Russia being kind of hesitant to that. To taking on any more cuts. Well, we'll see how that pans out. But like I said, oil prices were about 2% up today, about 51, north of $51 a barrel. This morning, all on optimism that OPEC could perhaps do something in that regard.
In your opinion, Janet, how much or what sort of effects do you think, on practical terms, do you think this coronavirus scare really affects oil prices? We know that the fear generally, affects buying decisions, but if you break it down to practical terms, how does it affect?
Well, okay, so you're looking at when you look at how it affected China for start.
Yes.
China's economy for one, it's
industrialization dropped.
Definitely. And then for when you look at so you want to look at it from two aspects. You're looking at for oil markets, look at this oil demand and the oil supply. We come from the supply end, trying to feed through markets. But then when there is no demand, and demand kind of falls short when the likes of industrial practices drop. People that used to go to work, transportation, everything is going down. You had people shut down their borders or close down their airports because they didn't want that kind of
people coming from those areas.
Exactly. So there you're seeing jet fuel demand also drop significantly as well. So definitely when production activities kind of drop like that, we tend to see demand drop in that regard. So speaking of China, they contribute about 15% to global oil demand. So having that kind of, even just a 50% decline from that, you can imagine how much excess supply you'd have in the markets, because there's a lot of supply still coming on. But then, that's why OPEC is coming from the supply end, trying to reduce the extent of supply and then balance oil markets, and then stabilize oil prices. But that's basically how the dynamics, play out for oil market.
But do you think it's going to be very effective?
You mean
the OPEC, the balancing efforts they are trying to
honestly, I'm not sure how much they can cut to meet the kind of demand shortfalls you're going to see. We've mentioned China, we've mentioned the likes of Europe are having their hits as well. That's the likes of Italy, and then just globally the kind of ripple effect that has. So it's the way the oil prices move, they don't exactly respond to actual dynamics or actual demand supply at the moment. It's usually at regarding some the news that comes up at the time really. But
if we bring it back home, I feel like it will affect other things like carpooling. For instance, these days I see that less people find less cars stopping by the road to pick up passengers because they're not sure about the personal hygiene of these people, and that in its sense will affect traffic as well because more cars will be on the road. I don't think less cars will be on the road. More cars will be on the road. Just recently, Okada ban. And then Aruoture is one of the people who's been affected by that as well. Not the Okada bans, basically. I'm talking about the carpooling part.
Oh, of course, it's terrible. Married man, welcome back.
Thank you, Aruoture. Yesterday I got in on Friday to hear that. First, I was in some location on Thursday, and I went to buy. I just stopped by a shop to buy a pharmacy to buy the face mask. And it was in Dubai. And the guy told me it was a 10 dirham. I looked at this guy, I'm like, are you serious? Why is it so expensive? It shouldn't be cheap. But Nigeria, then I hear that it's more expensive here. I started wondering why I didn't buy in stock.
But the US Surgeon General, how are you doing? The US Surgeon General has said that buying face masks doesn't do anything. It doesn't. So it seems like the fear is because it's completely irrational.
What it really does is if you have maybe a cold or something, just to keep the viruses within you, so you don't spread it. Doesn't necessarily protect you from getting it from somebody. If you got it or you touched your mouth or your face at any point and you wear a face mask, it's going to trap the virus.
But I think it keeps people from spreading it.
A reminder to people, malaria kills 300,000 Nigerians every year. measles, tuberculosis, AIDS. I think AIDS is 250,000. I think so far now these fears are a little overhyped.
Fatality rate for Lassa fever
is even more, right? China reported, I think, 35 deaths, which is the lowest they've reported in the last 3 days. So I think this thing is finally going to get some under control.
Yeah.
But Jenna, let's talk quickly of financials now. I think where do we start? UBA or MTN? So we start with UBA.
So we can start with MTN.
Okay, let's start with
MTN.
MTN.
Quite positive. So first off, you're seeing profits actually coming higher. So they actually recorded revenue higher by 13% on a year, and that increased to 1.16 trillion naira for MTN. And what actually just made that quite impressive for them was, so you're looking at the lines, you're seeing the data, the voice revenue as well, contribute significantly to that top line. Particularly when you look at their subscriber base, they were able to grow their subscriber base, particularly especially for the data subscribers. So data subscribers increased. So data subscribers actually increased significantly. They added about over 6 million subscribers over the year. And then same thing with their voice as well. But I mean, if you've been following MTN, you know that they've actually been quite positive or quite optimistic about how much that growth in data, it's almost like what paints a really good picture for MTN. And that comes because they have quite a lot of voice subscribers. They have about 64. They were able to grow it by 10% to 64.3 subscribers. But 64.3 million subscribers. But then they have data that they were able to grow by 35%. On the year to 25 million subscribers. So it shows that it's like you're trying to just the composition of total subscribers for MTN. There's still some room to grow data. So that actually just fed through quite positive for them on that leg. And then we also saw some of their costs, the direct network operating costs actually there were some cutbacks on that leg as well. So that actually just boosted their performance. We saw their PBT increase by 31%, and then their PAT actually increased 38% on the year. And just to mention, I mean, when you look at the breakdown for the revenue, voice revenue increased by 8.4% year on year, but then you're having data increase by over 40% year on year.
So data is the cash cow.
Exactly. And then their composition of total, even though voice is still the larger composition, contributing about 73% of the total revenue, their data is still contributed about 18% this year around, but it's coming from about 15% that it contributed the previous year. So you're just seeing that good growth for them. And even when you also have to trickle down to the GDP numbers that we saw, you see that
ICT and telecoms. I've been preaching this thing forever.
Exactly.
The reform programs that Nigeria has to follow should use, or rather, the reform programs that Nigeria has to implement should follow what they did with telecoms. That's the only example that I have for growth. I have a question for you on capping SIM cards, but let me read a couple messages here. Waje said, thanks to those stats, Roto, it's very important folks don't ignore the deadlier diseases that straight up wipe out folks. KB on oil says, good morning. Don't forget non-OPEC producing countries, they will certainly increase production. In fact, that KB just reminded me about another question I wanted to ask. But on the telecom side, remember the Minister of ICT and the digital economy was, there's been some language about capping the number of extra phones that we can have. I don't know if that is, I mean, how many phones can you have as an individual? Don't know if that is going to affect revenue down the line for the players in the sector. What do you think? I mean, it's a little murky as to right now, but what do you think if that was to happen?
I mean, I'm not sure how well. It's hard to kind of picture how that would play out. But then even at that, like I said, when you have to look at it from the data side, so like I said, you have total subscriber of about 65 million subscribers, and you have voice of voice is 65, and then you're having data of 25. So it just shows that leg room that you can still grow your data subscribers. So that still contributes. You still paint a positive picture for revenues. But even though that could definitely have some impact, perhaps on the extent of growth. Well, it's also just people just have to make calls. So even if you had 5 phones and then you have to use 3 now, but so far your calls are going through those lines. I believe revenue is what's important. You making the call is what's important. So having reduced number of phones will not exactly reduce.
Because you still have that main line that you're buying data and so on for.
Practically anyway. So,
okay. Yeah. Benga Kamo says here, Nigerians, ever the capitalists, the price of hand sanitizers and face masks have gone through the roof. Imagine selling a bottle of sanitizer for 19,959. But Benga, you also said they're capitalists. See, that's what we do. Hi, Rotus, this is Dakpo. For MTN, data is the cash cow. Video revenue is the king. We're moving there. We just need better internet service. Williams, Rotus, Valentine, Janet, good morning. Rotus, you mentioned a drug retail initiative on Friday. Can you share the name again? On Friday, I have to go over the YouTube from, I can't remember mentioning the drug retail initiative. This is from Williams. Williams also says, Valentine, welcome back and happy married life from Williams there. Papi K, OPEC cutting, nah, the only thing that will drive this is the end coronavirus. Hashtag welcome back, latest hobby in town. That's for Valentine again. Is OPEC still relevant? Because the challenges they are facing right now, Janet, they are, I mean, I don't know and say they are lost at sea, but they are almost at the mercy of the markets right now. What do you think?
I mean, I think it's definitely a demand push for prices now. I think what would actually just really boost dynamics, in that angle, even though it's almost still not very clear, because you hear some estimates, but it's still not extremely clear how much impact this coronavirus has had on demand, on the crude oil demand. But I mean, definitely makes things quite tight for OPEC, to be honest. Yeah, because they've kept cutting, and then we've seen this is just like a fresh challenge for them, and it's not very clear, like I said, how much demand has been hurt by this.
Yeah,
but it's also just it just puts things not at quite a favorable position for OPEC. But then I should also mention that you're having some other OPEC producers face some involuntary shutdowns. So the likes of Libya, for instance.
Libya is a mess right now. Yeah,
exactly. About 1 million barrels have had to go off from Libya earlier in the year. So you're still having those, and even Iran. The pressure that has come on Iran, and the pressure that is still on Venezuela. So that is still keeping some oil from the market.
You're mentioning some of the most troubled spots in the world right now. Iran is in serious trouble. Stephen here, Valentine, congrats on your union. Talking about the MTN results. Stephen says, no wonder, that's why my data wipes out after 1 or 2 downloads. Yinka. So wait, because Nigerians are capitalists, they should all be mad, Abi. Scotland just passed a resolution to make sanitary pads free for women. At this moment, sanitizers and nose masks should be free. That's what Yinka said. Yinka, if you are a business person and you are making sanitizers and masks, would you
capitalize on the situation?
Leave him. Would you sell them for free? Okay, Benga says Valentine has joined our club. Congratulations. You're going to be getting these marriage congratulations all day long, all day. Okay, real quick, what about let's see now. One more thing. Do we think the volatility is going to continue this week? As far as oil one, and then our exchange too, because China released, and they were very slick about this. Their PMI figures came out late Friday. I think it was even Saturdays. They sent those numbers out. For February, it dipped, and people were saying that if they had released those numbers, during trading hours, it would have hurt them. So with their manufacturing numbers showing a massive dip, and then the way they're controlling Asian markets and the whole Contagon, what are we seeing this week? Are we still treading water? Are we still what are we seeing?
From where we stand currently, that's largely expected. It's very likely you continue to see that pan out. Volatility. There's no, until things actually start to calm, and then you start to see that pull back in the whole. Yes, you mentioned about how the whole coronavirus thing is calming down in China, but then you're having it spread
around the world.
Countries.
Yes.
You had the US record 2 deaths now of the coronavirus in the US now. So there's still some spots where the things are still quite heated. So it's hard to call. Even though we saw that start with China, but then you recall, the way markets were losing, the S&P 500, the FTSE, the way they lost last week was mostly because this spread is gone outside China. It's actually spreading globally now. So it's very likely we continue to see that volatility until something actually comes up to calm. To calm
the markets.
Yeah.
All right, Valentine is giving me the air traffic control. So let me end with Yinka. Of course, we got to end with Yinka. Always entertaining with his messages. Yinka says, so let's assume the coronavirus kills everyone, all of us next week. Who will be alive to spend the profits? Yinka, I get you. We'll continue this tomorrow. I'm actually going to look at UBA's 2019 financials and a whole lot of other stuff. Janet from ARM, thank you so much for joining us. Valentine, married man, welcome back, man. Thank you so much.
Again, bro.
Brought to to you by
Dude,
InterSwitch.
thank you.
Well done.
Mondays, man.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Did you use Uber or did you guys drive?
No, I did.
Is it possible for someone to dash you a tear-rubber SUV with free petrol for 1 year? Or for your boss to pay your salary 4 months in advance? Or for your landlord to give you 70% discount on your next rent? Is it even possible for a bus conductor to allow passengers enter without paying? Some things may be impossible, but on Quick Teller, everything is possible.